am coming to you live from Ratliff Stadium. I'm on the north side of the stadium right now. Already cars are lined up and down this street. I'm actually wearing green and a little bit of gold. Please, I hope that no one takes offense. I really did not. I actually matched my shoes. I didn't even think about it. So I do have your Rangers highlights coming up after the break. The big thing that they're going to focus on as far as Nimitz is concerned is the quarterback and their wide receiver. And I'll tell you what, they have been impressive out here tonight. When she first told me she was hesitant to the interview, but then she realized she needed to speak out for disabled football fans everywhere. So thank you very much to Isela. Great. It is NFL kickoff tonight, and what better way to kick off the 2012 season than with the Super Bowl champion Giants and your Dallas Cowboys. The energy in here is great. As the Baylor football Twitter account reminds us, any communication with a prospective student athlete via social media can be considered an NCAA violation.
That's
it's an
very
incredible
well. And
story.
glad to see how they're embracing her too.
That was the best part almost of the entire story, was seeing all these people come together and really just embrace and learn together. It was really neat. What if I told you that being at a football game didn't mean watching the football game? Over the last couple of weeks, I've had the privilege of talking to a local fan who has given me, and I hope gives you, a new perspective on football.
Isela Mejia has always had a curiosity for football.
When I was young or in high school, I went to the football games, and then my husband loves sports, so we introduced our daughter to sports. So we've gone to all of them. We followed them to the playoffs.
She would always come and lay down here on the couch and say, you know, who's winning and this and that. Well, I wanted to know more, you know.
Since she was 28 years old, Isela has had to enjoy the game in a different way.
You probably feel that I can see you. I'm just looking in your direction.
Isela is blind. In 1988, she began to lose her vision and was diagnosed with retinitis pigmentosa. Football had become a big part of Isela and Neto's marriage, but now it wouldn't be the same.
Football has become a part of her life too, you know, since we met. And I'm glad, because, I mean, I don't mind watching football by myself, but when I have the woman in my life sitting next to me and enjoying it just like I do, oh, it's great.
We would go to the game, and I depended on him to tell me every little, and I want to know every little detail.
So they had an idea that involved a simple gadget and Isela's new football knowledge.
Anton fires in zone. Caught! Touchdown, Midland High, DeAndre Goodley. Yes, sir.
So he's like, you know what? We listen to the radio at home. We listen to the football game at home. You're gonna have one at the game. The radio, I love it because they tell me every little bit of it. I mean, it's like I don't need to see it because I'm visualizing it in my head.
When she's listening to the game and we make a touchdown, you know, she jumps and she cheers.
For Isela, it's the most basic information that is the most crucial.
And they tell me left to right. I mean, I love it when they say the team is going from left to right. So you take for granted, you know. Because if they don't tell me, I'm looking the wrong way. I'm totally looking the wrong way.
Despite the occasional directional hiccup, Isela has found the new perspective has given her and her husband a new love for football.
Yeah, you want to listen to it?
Sure. It's just as exciting as when I could see. When I hear on the radio a flag was thrown, sometimes I even know before my husband what the penalty was.
She really gets into the games now. I mean, football, it's become a big part of her. I'm very proud. She's an inspiration. She is an inspiration. I mean, that's the love of my life. Yes, football comes in second.
We're just people also, so just don't forget that.
We'd like to thank Isela and Neto for letting us into their lives. And Jay and Tatum, one quick note. Isela, when she first told me, she was hesitant to do the interview, but then she realized she needed to speak out for disabled football fans everywhere. So thank you very much to Isela.
Great story.
Whitney, thank you.
An icon in West Texas high school football announced his retirement today. Gary Gaines says he's calling it quits.
He may be one of the most famous high school football coaches, not just in Texas, but the country. And today, after 35 years, Gary Gaines has decided to hang up the whistle.
Well, I wanted to announce my resignation today.
The decision came after an up-and-down season for the Permian Panthers, one in which they made the playoffs by the skin of their teeth and then lost a close, disappointing game in the by-district round.
But when you flounder around here for 4 years and really only jockey around to 500 seasons, it's not what this school needs and what they expect, and certainly not what I expected. So I think it's time for a new guard to come in and see if they can get this thing over the hump and get back where they belong.
Of course, when talking about Gaines, this season is only the tip of the iceberg. He has definitely created a legacy for himself and for Mojo. He brought a state title to Permian in 1989 and definitely feels that loyalty to the black and white.
This school is special to me. You know, I've coached at this school more than any other school I've ever been at, and it's special, and it gets in your blood.
As far as what the future holds, Gaines is still unsure. He is excited to move forward, but feels it will be without coaching football.
Who knows? Who knows what the good Lord's got in store for me? And I'm retirement age. I just don't feel like that way right now. And so I want to do something to be productive, you know, and keep chugging along. I'll miss it, you know, but it's time.
I spoke with ECISD Athletic Director Todd Vesely this afternoon about Coach Gaines' retirement. He said, quote, Coach Gaines is a quality, remarkable man with a remarkable career, and I think it's important that we respect his decision to move forward, and we will move forward as well. Now, the job has not been posted to the ECISD website yet, and a coaching search will be all-encompassing, getting all the information to find the best fit for the Permian program. Reporting in the studio, Whitney Harding, CBS 7 Sports. Jay, Caitlin Poole has always been different. She was born deaf. Now she has set herself apart in a way her family never saw coming.
Looking at her now, it's hard to believe that Caitlin Poole was at one time an introverted young lady.
I was shy. I was just really quiet.
She had a real closed position. She didn't know if she was going to be accepted or not.
Then Kat, as she likes to be called, decided to learn Taekwondo. Her father called ATA Black Belt Academy in Odessa to see if they would take a deaf student. They said of course, but what happened next was a pleasant surprise for the Poole family.
Came in, and the first time, Master Zant said, fine, come on in.
They didn't see somebody that was different from them other than, okay, well, we have to learn how to talk with our hands, and okay, that sounds kind of fun, we can do that, and they just rolled with it.
She's taught us all how to sign, so we've all learned a new language.
The school went even a step further to make sure Kat felt like a part of the family. They made sure that every single instructor and student at the school could sign the bow in and bow out oath.
It touched my heart when everyone signs the oath for Taekwondo. Yeah, I'm happy I'm here.
The instructors have really overcome a whole lot that I don't think that many people would be expecting to face on a regular basis.
And then, last Friday night, it all came together. The once timid girl received her first-degree black belt.
Caitlin Poole!
I've been waiting and counting down the days until I got had my black belt celebration. And now I have it, my black belt.
She's really come a long way with all of her techniques and just her whole persona. She's become a leader. She's working hard in school, so that's really helped her to be here.
I'm very proud of her. It's very great for me to see her overcome those things. It is a hearing world, and she has to learn to get by in that.
I feel so happy. I wanted it and finally got what I wanted.
JCat told me that her main goal is to get that 5th degree black belt. She wants to get all the way up there, and get this, she wants to make sure her younger sister receives her 1st degree. She wants to teach her.
Well, congratulations to her. That's an amazing story, and she does very well. And glad to see how they're embracing her too.
That was the best part almost of the entire story, was seeing all these people come together and really just embrace and learn together. It was really neat.
What a great story. You got more sports coming up.
We got a lot more coming up. Big game, UT-UNC. I'll tell you who wins coming up.
Like most high schoolers, Luke Stice loves social media.
It's something that I've definitely enjoyed doing, especially in the downtown and whatnot.
The thing is, Luke is not like most high schoolers. He has committed to play football at a Division I program, and that can really change things.
You have to educate the kids on, I think from our end of things, while they're still in high school, it comes down more to keeping their personal life private and off of Facebook and those kind of things is something that I think that they need to be aware of.
Social media has quickly become a way for colleges to check in on potential recruits, just like any employer would on prospective employees.
Everybody that I recruit that I'm serious about, I do web searches. So if there's a Facebook account or a Twitter account, then I'll look at it. It is very important for us to know as much as we can about the people who we are recruiting. We don't want to bring problems to campus if possible.
When it comes to social media, it's not just the things that student athletes post that can be an issue. As the Baylor football Twitter account reminds us, any communication with a prospective student athlete via social media can be considered an NCAA violation.
NCAA expects all of us to have control that is very, very far-reaching, and that includes social networking.
These kids are at a time in their lives when they should be able to make mistakes. But if you want to play sports in college, mistakes are not an option.
That's something that you definitely have to take into consideration. You don't want to go put something on Facebook or tweet something that's going to offend somebody or that a coach is going to see and be like, what kind of kid is this? As Coach Morton knows, they find out about just about everything. So college coaches are no exception to that.
For those who are wondering, Uri Wright committed to play football for Colorado, but his story will forever be a lesson as to what not to do. Whitney Harding, CBS 7 Sports.
Growing up, Jim Bob Ezell was always an active child, and with a Permian football legend as a dad and siblings also in sports, there was no question he would be athletic as well. What he didn't know is that his sports path would be extremely challenging, but extremely rewarding.
As an athlete in high school, that was my goal in life, was to be a professional athlete. And
Jim Bob Ezell has always had extreme athletic ability.
He played football at Permian. He was a starting safety for McMurray in Abilene, and he wanted to run track, and he never has ever ran track in his life.
When I was in college, I fell in love with running track. I didn't get to do it in high school from a previous accident. And I kind of grew into my body, and we were good. And if you're good, you're always winning, and of course you're going to love it.
I thought there ain't no way you can run track. But anyway, he got on the track team. They went to nationals, I think, 2 years while he was there, and won nationals.
Then, in March 2007, suddenly talent didn't matter anymore. Jim Bob was riding a motorcycle when the bike flipped and landed on him.
Of course, you're going to go big and show your friends how cool you really are. And I landed on my back, but my leg got kind of underneath my body, and it just mangled my foot off completely. I had no idea it happened. Snap of a finger, your foot was gone.
And we got a phone call that Jimbo's been taken to the hospital. Didn't know why or what. And we nearly went and ate dinner instead of went to the hospital because I figured, he just broke his arm again or whatever.
5 hours later, we amputated it off 6 inches below my knee.
Jim Bob knew his life would be completely different, and he was determined to make the best of it by becoming an Olympian.
I was missing my leg, and I didn't want to just feel sorry for myself, so I was only in the hospital for a day and a half and told my parents while I was there that I was going to run track again and that I was going to go to Beijing. And my dad told me I was nuts. There's no way you're going to be able to make it.
I told him he was full of it, but, he hadn't had his prosthesis yet. He don't know how to walk. And here he's saying he's going to go run. like a year and a half later at Beijing, and
I just told myself I got to pick myself back up and get on with this. I mean, there's nothing I can do about it. I'm still taking a breath.
Welcome back. Last night we introduced you to Jim Bob Bazell, a talented athlete who lost part of his leg in a motorcycle accident in 2007. In the hospital, he told his family he would compete in the 2008 Paralympic Games. But as Jim Bob would find out from his trainer, the odds of being able to compete a year and a half after losing his limb were slim to none.
I told him that I was wanting to run, and he told me that I wasn't going to be running at all this year. I mean, I was going to prove him wrong, and just to show everybody that I was capable of doing the things that I wanted to do. I mean, just because I've been in a little accident doesn't mean I got to stop everything in my life.
The word stop is not in Jim Bob Bazell's vocabulary. With only a year and a half until the Beijing Paralympics, he definitely had to move full steam ahead.
My prosthesist at that time told me I was getting my first leg. I walked right there in the office my first day I put it on. I walked for about 3 or 4 days with the crutches, and I just threw them to the side because I didn't need them anymore. I didn't want them.
And then, 15 months later, the incredible happened. Jim Bob qualified for the 2008 Paralympic Games.
I was at a 10-year point when I was at 15 months. And then I went to Beijing 17 months after my accident. I broke the world record in the 200-meter, and I broke the record in the 400. And I also broke the world record in the 4x1 relay.
he proved me wrong. He went up there and was in 3 world records, and he's never been down, that kid. I've never seen him be upset or nothing stopping him.
Well, as a fan, it's overwhelming. I mean, like, my adrenaline was going, like, he was getting ready to run, and I had butterflies, and my stomach hurt, and here comes this Jim Bob Bazell guy and these hot pink Oakleys and hot pink shoestrings, you know, and everybody's, like, flipping through their book. They're like, where did this guy come from? And he just goes out there and just blows everybody's mind. It was pretty awesome.
Of course, 3 medals and 3 world records are not enough for Jim Bob. He is preparing to leave this week for the London Games and has even loftier goals for himself.
I've got to step up to the plate this year. I mean, I've still got the world records, and I'm looking to break those in London, and then hopefully push towards that 100 meters that I never got. So.
Medals may bring sparkle to a fireplace mantle, but Jim Bob brings a light to everyone he comes in contact with.
You know, I get to watch the person that I love the most in the world get to do this, so it makes me just as proud, and he makes me feel a part of everything and takes me along for the ride, and I'm very thankful.
He's my hero. He really is. I've never, like I said, I've never seen this boy poor me because I lost a leg, or he's always just positive and smiling and happy, and he's a great kid.
I have a feeling that this was probably a calling for me. I mean, I love it. I would never take my leg back. I get to experience things that I never got to experience before. You're going to go through life every day, and it's going to give you complications and something to fight for and something to get over. It just depends on how you handle it yourself. I mean, this whole leg issue was just mental. That's all it was. It was a mental game. Physically, I lost it, but the hard part is up top, and that's where it all comes into play.